for a face-to-face meeting by the end of May. He would be the first sitting U.S. president to meet with a North Korean leader.
The announcement happening after South Korean special envoys briefed the president at the White House on their meeting with Kim.
He is committed to denuclearization. We are optimistic about continuing a diplomatic process to test the possibility of a peaceful resolution.
And the president tweeted last night, Kim Jong-un talked about denuclearization with the South Korean representatives, not just a freeze. Also, no missile testing by North Korea during this period of time. Great progress being made, but sanctions will remain until an agreement is reached. Meeting being planned.
Yeah, and is this a ruse by the North Koreans to just kind of stall for time? James Carafano joins me now. He's the Vice President of National Security and Foreign Policy at the Heritage Foundation. You know, this is either going to maybe elevate or diffuse the situation with North Korea. What do you think?
Well, I think it certainly represents reality. You know, conventional wisdom 6 months ago was we were on an inevitable path to war. And then 3 months ago was, well, the United States is going to preemptively attack North Korea. And this says basically what reasonable people have said all along is this is not a crisis spinning out of control.
What's interesting here, though, is this has happened without any extensive preparatory meetings between, you know, lower White House officials, lower North Korean officials. I mean, this kind of, I want to say came out of the blue, but it basically did. What do you make of the fact that Kim Jong-un came to the table so quickly?
Well, look, I think it's important that we not try to predict why we think he did this, because the honest answer is we don't know why he does what he does. Our strategy, maximum pressure, is a great strategy, but it's designed to keep North Korea from being a threat. He has to choose how to respond to this. So I think we all risk if we try to say, well, what's he really behind here? Because I'm not sure we really know.
Well, I mean, look, at least we do know that they're willing for now, until these talks happen, to suspend any nuclear missile testing until the time of these talks, which we believe it's sometime in May. Maybe it's going to happen in South Korea. We don't have confirmation yet. But the question really is this just another stalling tactic by the regime? They've done this before. They've done this for 6 decades, right? Where, you know, they say, yes, we're going to talk, and they make empty promises. I think that's the bigger fear here. Yeah,
well, don't be worried about that, because it doesn't matter if this is stalling, because this strategy is designed specifically to do that. The maximum pressure strategy, nuclear deterrence, missile defense, heavy sanctioning, the conventional alliance, that keeps from Kim becoming a larger threat. Buying him more time doesn't actually put him in a better place. It actually just gives us more time to put more safeguards in place to keep him from being a threat.
And you had President Obama, who had always made it sound like he didn't want to give, you know, legitimacy to the North Korean regime. And President Trump, even when he was at the United Nations in the fall, he made a comment that we would totally destroy North Korea if it came to that, if weapons were fired against either Japan, our ally, or to us. Do you think that that's maybe part of the reason that the regime has come to the table now? These threats from the president have been very serious.
Well, look, I don't know. But here's the reality. I'm not surprising that Trump is doing this. First of all, Trump likes to meet with the people he's competing against. So this is kind of very Trumpian. He's also actually very, very good at these meetings. And really, there's very little at risk here for the United States. So I think what it demonstrates most of all is that this is not a crisis spinning out of control. It definitely shows that the U.S. and South Korea are working hand in hand, and that's great.
It certainly does. That's true, especially on the heels of the Olympics. James, thank you so much for joining us so early on the breaking news. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
The other big story we're following today is President Trump formally ordering steep new tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Blake Berman at the White House with more details.